Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 BMW X6 M Competition, and today we're going to see what it's like to live with, starting with remote start. Good morning, neighbors. I don't think that V8 cold start caused much of a fuss, and now it's settled down to an even more reserved idle. So if you need the car remote started to get the climate control just right, excuse me, Bluey, for your early morning commute, it shouldn't be an issue for your neighborhood. Checking out the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long, I've got the X6 parked just a couple inches in from the edge, sitting next to a new Lexus TX that my wife is reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. She's got that one also just a couple inches in from the edge. And with this spacing, there is still plenty of room to walk between the vehicles, even enough to wheel a wagon, but not a double stroller through for our kiddos. The nose of the X6 is hovering just before the gutter at the front of my driveway, and that does leave plenty of room at the back, enough to walk in front of the hedge to my front door. When first stopping in with the key fob on me, I can just approach the X6 and it'll unlock all doors. It'll also lock the doors if I move away from it, or I can configure it to require putting my hand on that door handle. I'll wait till I'm in a parking space to really show you the door opening space, but here I can just go 2 defined notches and slide on in. It is a perfect ride height for a horizontal movement into the cabin. For me, it's 6 feet. Hello cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 25 BMW X6 M Competition. In this video, I want to see if as a daily driver, the M treatment has you going, or And now that I've proudly made one of my most cringeworthy introductions, if you're still with me, let me show you where I'd put the items I bring with me every day, like my smartphone, which can go on the wireless charging pad, and then when I close the lid to admire the carbon fiber, I will promptly forget that I put my phone in there and I'll leave the vehicle. Just what happens to me. Inside the console, there's a good deal of storage space. I've got just my wallet and sunglasses in here because there isn't sunglass storage above, and so the fact that this isn't a felt-lined container means that the lenses could get scratched, and that doesn't make me happy. Close that back up. Inside the door pockets, which are huge, I managed to fit both my GoPro accessory case and a 32-ounce water bottle. So that's really impressive to me. And so I think that the loose item storage inside the X6M is terrific. Now, to go into drive, I first need to put on my safety belt, as everyone should, and then hit the start-stop button to actually take over the driving capabilities. Then click the gear selector over to the right into drive, and it will automatically release the parking brake. I can roll forward, and even though I do have curb ramps here to help with the clearance issue of the gutter at the front of my driveway, it really isn't a problem for this SUV. Just roll on forward and head on out. As I'm just starting my day, I want a couple convenience features going for me. Depending on the weather, I'll either want seat heating or seat ventilation. It is winter, so I'll have the seat heater going and the steering wheel heating going because that just feels awesome all the time. And if it was summer, I could have the seat ventilation, or if I just wanted cool air to keep my butt from getting sweaty while it's also being warmed, I could have them both going at the same time, which is kind of cool. I also make sure that I turn on the seat massage, and that is triggered on here. And it's not because it's a good massage. In fact, it is probably one of the weakest I've felt in cars. It's like an old man is leaning on you at different parts of your bottom and your back. I just turn it on really because I like to convince myself I'm about to be relaxed, even if it doesn't come to fruition. And on the topic of things that aren't the most relaxing when you're first getting your wits about you in the morning, the twin-turbo V8 is an eager beaver. And so even if you've got the engine response set to efficient mode, as I have here, the throttle is still pretty darn touchy. Every time you get close to it, it's raring to go. So you really have to just regulate that throttle tip in smoothly, gently, smoother. There it is. And the brakes, they're also a little on the grabby side. So here I'm coming up to this stop, just coming up to the brake pedal softly, and there's grabbiness, and it just wants to lurch me down. And at the end of it, yeah, It's just that forward and backward lurch as they clamp up. There's this overwhelming impression of sensitivity here, and when your senses are pretty dull, first thing in the morning, it can be a lot. Oh, and that continues with the ride quality. So here I've got the chassis set to comfort for these adaptive dampers, and they do an okay job taking off the edge of harsh road blemishes, but the platform stays pretty darn firm, so you are bopping all over the surface of the road, and as you go over imperfections, you both hear them and you feel them. On the bright side, the seats are very comfortable, highly adjustable, so I've found a great driving posture for myself, and I got the thigh extenders going, I got the side bolsters adjusting just right, the top of the seat comes in as I want it to, and the padding is good. I mean, we'll see how they do after a long highway commute that I do have planned for later in this video, but for around town, it's gonna be just fine. I am just about ready to grab a cup of coffee, but before I do, let me touch on a few remaining daily driving details. Important things, like the turn signal sound, which is a classic BMW tune. I don't mind it. I wonder why more BMW owners don't use it. Now for the turning radius, I'm gonna crank the wheel here and pivot around in a nice tight circle. That is a solid turning radius. All right, but now let's say someone cuts me off and I go to the horn. I want them to hear about it. What do they hear? Oh, yeah, that's agitated. It appropriately expresses my frustration. Hey, it's time for coffee. Ooh, it's time for coffee. I'm getting coffee at a new spot today. It's called Contra Coffee. And the fact that those guys gave the X6M a thumbs up suggests that it has the public's approval for this Gentian Blue color. Ooh, look at that Chevy Chevelle. Looking nice. Now let's see if I give this one the thumbs up for its backup camera. High resolution, bird's eye view here, and they even copied the exterior color to the camera system. That's good. Got trajectory lines, and I can back on in. Parking sensors to help out with proximity as well. Stick the dismounts. All right, let's get coffee. All right, got the coffees. And I did promise to show you the door opening space when I was parked next to someone, but this is actually more room than I had in my own driveway. So we'll just pretend I'm right next to someone and I can only go one defined notch of opening. That's still plenty to get inside. Now this is going to be an adventure because Contra Coffee doesn't have decaf, which is of course all I drink. So I just went all in. I got a matcha latte for me and for Mobile Mama, and I'm not gonna be able to finish this, but will remind myself why caffeine and I just don't get along. I'm excited. This will be fun. And this is a good time to point out that there are heated and cooled cup holders as an option in this car. So for my iced latte, to keep it colder longer, just turn on the chill function. Lovely fall colors. I really can't dawdle though. I need to go deliver this coffee to Mobile Mama because I then have to load up the X6 for a drive out to Palm Springs for the Ram 1500 RHO first drive. All right, the coffee has been delivered. I'm packed up and ready to go. And now to load in the back of the X6, I'm gonna make an adjustment to the cargo cover before I slide in the suitcase first. And then my backpack can go behind it. Perfect. Look at all that extra room. Should I be bringing something else with me? Well, you know, it would be fun if while I'm down there, I got some tennis practice in. So I'm going to bring my rackets and a tennis ball machine. The question is, will these fit in the back of this slope roof-lined SUV, or will I need to fold down these rear seats? I'll start by completely removing the cargo cover, and it can't fit underneath this floor because that's where the spare tire goes. Then I'll lift up the tennis ball machine over this high load floor and try to get it as far back as it goes. Will that clear the lid? I think so. Then the tennis rackets behind. This looks good. It fits. This is a good time to talk about visibility actually, because even though my cargo is not obstructing my view out the back really at all, if it was even slightly, or if I had taller rear passengers with me, I wouldn't be able to see much out the back because of the curve of the headliner and the fact that there is also a pretty big blind spot at the C-pillar. There is standard blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic to help, but it kind of just comes with the territory with one of these coupe design SUVs that you will have compromised visibility compared to the more traditional boxier, in this case X5 counterpart. All right, my journey to the desert is going to have me on the highway for a little while so we can see about things like passing power, of which there is plenty. And that's just me putting my foot in it in efficient mode. If you don't want to change any of the drive settings, you can still put your foot all the way to the floor and get the full 617 horsepower working for you. If you did want to try something else out, you could go into the setup screen and move into the Sport Plus engine response. Let's try a pass again. More urgent. Or I could hit the M1 button once and twice to bring up my presets, which happen to have been dialed up for excitement. Now that I've settled down a little bit, I'm going to quiet up for a moment and listen to the cabin volume. All right, so I've experienced a couple different types of road surfaces, and kind of regardless of which one I'm on, I still get some tire noise. There's a faint bit of wind noise right here at the seams, not a whole lot of it though. I don't hear much of the outside traffic though. I think it's pretty well insulated in here. There's just gonna be a little more tire noise with these high performance, low profile, wide section tires. Since I am going to be on this highway for a good chunk of time, I'm going to use some of the driving assistance features that you can equip as options to the X6M. Things like adaptive cruise control, where I can set my speed and my following distance. That is done, the following distance is done in the infotainment screen, not here on the steering wheel controls, which is an extra step I don't love. But anyway, when that's all locked in, I don't have to use the throttle or the brake to maintain that gap, and that really goes a long way to reduce some fatigue, especially if you're in traffic-heavy commutes all the time. And then this one also has some steering assistance, so I'm taking my hands off the wheel just to demonstrate how it holds the center of the lane, even on curves like this one. It does want me to check back in because this is not the full hands-free driving that you can get in other BMWs. It would be nice if this had that, but it does have a lane change assist, so if there is an opening, it will change lanes for me, move over, and it doesn't ping-pong me back and forth in the lane. It kind of just adjusts and then gets to that center pretty quickly. It would be nice if these features were standard in a vehicle costing well into the $100,000, but considering it's a $1,700 option, not crazy expensive, if I had a commute like this every day, I would make sure I was checking the box for this. But would I also want to check the box for the $3,400 Bowers & Wilkins sound system upgrade over the standard Harman Kardon units? To find out how that sounds here on the highway when I queue up the wireless Apple CarPlay. And this system, by the way, is super responsive, and the graphics are really sharp. If I didn't want to touch the screen, I could also use this dial here for less distraction. But let's get Spotify going, tunes going, and volume adjusted. I can do that with this physical volume knob, or with the steering wheel controls, or with gestures. This doesn't always work. Hang on. There we go. I had to go faster. That's imprecise. I'm just going to use this. Less gimmicky. Let's go up a little bit here. Maybe 60%. Oh. Yes. I don't think I'd ever need to go over 60% of available maximum volume. There was plenty of punch there, and the clarity was terrific. The bass came in and shook my seat for some theatrics. It was just a terrific acoustic profile. that would be worth the extra money. Time for an update. After about an hour and a half in the saddle on the highway, I've noticed two things. One, these seats do in fact stay comfortable. And while the massage may not be great, it does at least move me around in the chair a little bit so I stay fresh. And two, the ride quality, yes, is very choppy around town, but on the highway, this car does settle in and become quite smooth. Oh, but I need a break from all that highway stuff. So why not do a real-world 0 to 60 test? I've got my race box set up here to record, and to prep for launch control, I'm bringing up my M2 presets, then holding my foot on the brake, pin the throttle, build up the revs, launch control is active, let it go. Oh my gosh. There's 60 in 3.66 seconds. Yeah, that definitely shot some life into me. Let's see what else this thing can do. On a twisty section of road, let that 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 unleash between the curves. Thankfully, it's got the brakes I need to scrub speed and keep it shiny side up on this elevated area. The steering is super quick. It has good feel. The 8-speed is making all the right moves. In automatic mode, I'll try out manual mode in just a moment. The body stays so controlled, super flat. And there's a nice rear bias going from this all-wheel drive system. So much thrust and tons of grip as well. Who would think you'd want to take an SUV on a road like this? BMW certainly spent some time thinking about it, and I am glad they did. I'm also thankful for the adjusting side bolsters, which I have now got me squeezed tightly in place, because otherwise I'd be sloshing around in these chairs through all these different maneuvers. The limits of the X6M are so high, and I am not going to explore them on this road. I'm just going to dip a toe. Listen to that V8. So good. And my voice is cracking so much. I am going to take over manual control now. Utilize these nice large paddles in the back, which have great action and prompt a quick response from the 8-speed auto. There's a shift light indicator up on the gauge cluster, love that. Adds to the theater of the experience. As if you need it anymore. How good is this road? Not just with its sweeps, serpentine, but also with its scenery. I could do this all day and make no progress towards my destination, which is not actually Palm Springs, it's Joshua Tree. I got that wrong. But this is a living with it video, so I'll just make the note that if you were going to live with the X6M, you'd better do yourself the favor of once in a while, at the very least, taking it to roads like this and seeing where you spent all that extra money on the M experience. Okay, I am gonna get back to my journey, I promise, but I'm just making one more quick detour here to a windmill farm in Palm Springs, because this is just so cool. But it does have me driving on this dirt road, which in the X6M is very bumpy. Well, that'll make you feel small. All right, I've changed my clothes in preparation for tennis, which I'm going to play at Auto Camp Joshua Tree, just around the corner from it. But before I get there, I do need to put some fuel back in this 21.9 gallon tank. And the EPA rates the X6M comp at just 13 mpg in the city 18 on the highway and 15 combined. And over the last 232 miles, I've seen right around 15 combined MPG, so I should have a total fuel range of about 330 miles. And at current fuel prices of $4.59 for 91 octane gas that the X6M does require, it's gonna cost me about $100 to fill this tank, and there isn't capless fueling, so I have to work a little bit harder. I've made it to Auto Camp Joshua Tree. Now I just need to find those tennis courts before I go drive some Rams. Good morning from my cozy Airstream. There is a Ram RHO out here somewhere. Let's go find it. I found it! Now, if you want to see me actually drive it, both on and off-road, you'll want to hit the link to my first drive. It's back to business in the back seats of the X6M, and to see what we've got going on back here, I'm going to grab my partner in crime, Mobile Mama. Please, allow me.
Blinded by the light.
Oh, you're looking straight in the sun?
Yeah.
I didn't give you much room there. It's okay. You don't need it.
It's all good.
You look great. You do too. Hi, Rev Welto. Talk to you later. Oh, just walked into the car. That's fine.
Who are you talking to?
Welcome to the car.
Which one?
The Rev Welto. Lambo. I do that sometimes. Anyway, welcome to the back seats of the X6M. I like that. Back seats of the X6M. What do you think?
Thank you.
Do you have room?
I like them. They're roomy. The seat is a bit slanted towards the back. And
you're bucketed in a bit.
Yes, and you can't recline this.
No, you can't.
I don't like it for my lower back, I'll be honest. But that's...
Yeah, there needs to be better thigh support. I agree. When your feet are up like this, then you don't have over 30. Yeah, we've got the knee room. That's good. And I have headroom. If my head's in like a neutral position, this is fine. If I try to go back to the headrest, then it is touching the roof line there. But it's suede wrapped. So if I wasn't wearing a hat, I'd be like, yeah, this is good.
Oh, Alcantara, baby. Okay, do you want to stay here?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try it. Cozying up to you is not a problem for me. Okay, so this person, if they were an adult like me, they wouldn't be happy.
Are you an adult?
Yeah, I'm saying if they were an adult like me, I'm an adult. But if they were a kid, they'd also have a problem because, thank you, the seat bottom is so firm, the padding, and kids have bony butts. Kids need that cushioning.
Okay, if they're not there,
then armrest.
You have this pointless storage.
It's so shallow. What's going to go in there?
I don't know.
Just junk you'll forget about. Oh, and this is very firm, like really firm. No one's going to want to put their arm on there. It's very hard. Cup holders.
There you go.
You have them, and they deploy. I think that's fun.
Heated seats.
Yes.
4-zone climate control.
Yes.
USB-Cs. Oh, up here.
Here, yeah,
with attachments.
Yes.
For iPads.
And what else we got? Oh, your favorite. Sunshades for the Ninos.
Woo!
I just love them staring at a no parking sign. We live here, it's fine. This is okay. Everyone's
and you
cool
still
with
have carbon fiber, ambient lighting.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I mean, it looks good. The leather feels nice. Your friends, you have friends, right? Yeah, you've got friends. They would feel good back here, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's try car seats for kiddos.
Would your friends like it?
I have friends. Oh, no, that's not what you asked. Yeah, I have friends. And they would also like it, for sure. Let's put car seats in the back, okay? Let's not talk about this topic anymore. You know, these doors don't open super far.
No.
And that makes it harder for not just getting kids or car seats in. Even adults have to sort of contort their bodies and then duck their heads a lot to get underneath the roof line. Let's see about getting this car seat in. If I go at this sort of an angle. Uh-oh, there goes an ornament. There we go. That wasn't so bad.
She took the ornament.
Oh, she did. And you're probably going to need to move that seat forward.
Yeah.
So you have clearance.
Yeah.
And for me to get to the top tether, I can't go underneath the headrest. It doesn't adjust. I have to go over it or around it.
I would go over it.
All right, we got these lassoed in here. And what do you think about this legroom for Talia?
It's decent.
It's enough?
Yeah.
Long legs, she'll still be fine?
Well, hopefully.
What about your long legs with a car seat behind you?
Oh, I already hit my knee.
Ooh, not so good.
My
Back
shin.
angle looks fine, but
if I keep them lower, it's okay, but my shin's kind of hitting.
That doesn't look comfortable for a long trip.
It's not. No, it's
okay, so this would be better for forward-facing car seats.
And shorter people.
And shorter people, but we'd still say the X6M comp is family approved.
Oh, and also if you want to be Miles's friend,
no, don't even
fill out an application online.
Okay, so you're going to send details to info@milesperhour.com. Thank you very much. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered if the M treatment would make the X6 more lovable or less livable. And after quality time spent behind this wheel, I have to admit that the performance does come with its penalties. A bouncy ride, touchy throttle and brakes, and thirsty V8 are the biggest offenses. As for non-M specific details, the sloping roofline does compromise visibility a bit and practicality compared to the X5. However, the seat comfort, convenience features, and driving dynamics do help to soften the X6M's rougher edges. As a one-stop shop, do-it-all performance vehicle, the X6M is very appealing. However, if you have the budget for a dedicated sports car, you might want a more gentle commuter. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.